I think we're good. Yay! Hello and welcome to what we call behind the scenes of coaching or coaching sneak peek. My name is Ariane and I am super excited to hopefully you'll hear from a bunch of us tonight. Hopefully you will see how coaching is different and unique for all of us, and we all can kind of find like our pathway, and we can all find what works best for us. So you'll notice that none of us are the same. We're all very different in how we have gotten started. So just a real quick backstory on my story with Beachbody. I am a group fitness instructor and a personal trainer, and I had gotten to a point where I was super burnt out. I was basically high-fiving my husband. We had 3 kids at the time. He was a nurse who worked nights, and he was gone from like 6:30 p.m. to like 7:30, 8 a.m. the next day. And so we just basically high-fived. And I taught at the gym and I trained clients, and I thought this is like the perfect job for a mom because it gives you all this freedom and this flexibility. And what I didn't realize is that you have to be at the gym when you're supposed to teach a class. You have to be at the gym when you are there to train a client. Like, your schedule is really not yours, even though you think in your mind that you make your own schedule. It's all based on what people need and what people are wanting. And so what I found through time was that the hours that I could work were the hours that like my husband could be home taking care of the kids, or the hours that I could work would be, when kids could possibly be in sports or in dance or different things like that. And basically I just didn't have any freedom. And so I just got to a point where I was super burnt out and tired, and I just needed something new. So a friend reached out to me, and the first response I had was like, ew, that is gross. I am not going to do whatever X, Y, and Z is that you do. But really at that point in time, I just didn't understand what Beachbody was about and what the company was about and what actual network marketing really was. I just didn't understand a lot of the different things. And so after some time, after talking with her and realizing that this could be an opportunity for me to grow and to be able to kind of get my life back, get some freedom back. And so 6 years ago, I bought a challenge pack, which we'll learn about later. And I basically got hooked on Shakeology, the superfoods. Just what it did for my body, and I haven't looked back since. So that is a little bit about me. And I'm going to toss it on over to Melanie. Like, who's the first one?
That's me. Well, hi everyone. My name is Melanie, and the way I got into Beachbody is really, I was also a group fitness instructor, but I was working on the management side. So it was an awesome job. I loved the social connection, even though I'm an introvert. Teaching group fitness for me was always like, you teach, but you have this imaginary wall, in front of people where you get to connect, but you don't have to get really deep and personal. And so that was working for me. And I was in the management side, and I loved it. I loved everything about it. And being an introvert, though, I could also step back and just, recoup myself, basically. But then I burnt out, and I decided to start my own business in a totally unrelated field. And I had burnt out so much that I didn't want anything to do with working in fitness, because as the manager, I knew that your schedule is not your own when you are a group fitness instructor or a personal trainer. And the return on investment for the time was not worth it. So I was not going to personal train or teach. And in time, I was missing that, because the connection that I had with class participants and people that I trained and also group fitness instructors was completely gone. And on top of that, I live in Las Vegas, which is a very transient town. And so a lot of people move here, but then they also move away. So a lot of my friends had moved away, or they were just so busy because they still worked in group fitness or personal training, and their time it belonged to their clients. So I got to a point where I felt really, really isolated. So my first experience that everyone is experiencing now with social distancing and social isolation, that happened to me in 2014, 15. And that's when Ariane approached me about coaching. And I already knew about Beachbody, and I knew that they were legit programs because I had hosted some trainings at the gym that were based on Beachbody programs. I had tried Shakeology, and it wasn't the greatest taste back then. I tried the green one, and I didn't really like it. But meanwhile, I had gotten into really focusing on superfoods for my own health and to prevent like symptoms of perimenopause. So I was already making my own kind of slushy smoothies, which were way more disgusting and cost me a lot of money. So that's how I got started. And then once I got started with Ariane, that's when I realized the community was what I was missing. And that's what I was missing from quitting my job is what I got back from coaching. Even though I told her, I'm not into the coaching thing, I'll get the discount, thank you very much, but I'm done with training or helping others or being connected in the fitness because I'm totally burnt out. But then I just kind of slipped into it, and I noticed through calls like these that people were in it for different reasons, and they shared their struggles. That was a big deal. Their struggles and their successes. And it was just a connection that I could get online without having to be part of a company that is local. I could do it from anywhere. And that was really important to me also because the whole reason why I quit my job was so I could see more of my family, which lives in another country. And so with more traveling, this is something I could do and still feel connected and like I'm helping people and be part of something greater where I just belong. So I hope that gives just like a little bit of background of the community that we get as coaches. And I'm giving it on to, who am I giving it to? Christy.
I just need to figure out how to unmute myself. Okay, so a little background on me is I decided to have kids. And in having kids, that meant that there needed to be daycare. But what I did was I was a retail manager, and a lot like what you've heard you guys talk about so far is that your time really isn't your own. You work all of the holidays, you work all of the weekends, and especially as a manager, guess who covers a shift when someone calls in? Me. So that was something that was really hard, and I really wanted to find something that I could do that was like a 9 to 5 Monday through Friday, the American dream. But the problem was is I didn't have a formal education. It wasn't going to help me at all by getting a 9 to 5 because I wasn't going to make enough to put my kids in daycare. So with that being the case, I just kind of was like, well, I'm high, just like Ariane's high-fiving my husband at the end of his work day, and then I would go to work and work the night shifts at my retail job. On top of that, I had already lost 40 pounds, and I did it all by myself. So to piggyback on Melanie is that the community wasn't there. It was very hard to lose that much weight by yourself and not know what you're doing. If you are so inclined to do the research, you could figure out those types of things, but I was busy and I thought I knew. Bottom line, I thought I knew. So all of that was happening at the same time. And then I had my coach asked me, you should think about coaching. What do you think about coaching? I didn't know anything about whatever an MLM was. I didn't know that Beachbody and Shakeology was related, but it was this kind of a call and a group of people that were sharing their story and their struggles that really just made me go all in and say, yeah, this is what I need. So what I wanted to talk about right now is that what really impacts me the most is that I ended up being able to not have to work the night shifts anymore. I ended up being able to basically replace my income and work from anywhere. Yet this is not my house. I'm not home and I am on this call, and I would not be able to earn any income, help other people, had it not been for this falling in my lap. I have been traveling for the last 2 days and working from my phone when I get up in the morning, in the afternoon, when I'm sitting on the toilet. And that's something that I needed. I needed that. I needed my contribution, not that you have to have it, but I wanted to contribute financially to my family in a way that also made me able to live my life. That in itself, when I watch my dad just constantly work for his retirement and say, I can't come this weekend because it's my weekend to work, it fuels the fire. I want to be able to leave and go do whatever I want to do as long as I have an internet connection. So if you're looking for that kind of thing, if you're like, wow, I didn't know, yes, it's possible. And it's going to be something that you can change in your day-to-day life. But I'm surprised I didn't get all emotional and start crying, because this is my dream. I don't get to see, my best friends don't live near me, but I get to drive and go see them, and my kids get to play with their kids. I'm sure you heard the door just a minute ago. That's one of them wondering where I am. But I don't know about the American dream that you were brought up on. This wasn't it, but this is my dream, and I get to live it out. I don't know who I'm passing it on to, because I literally came here, did a workout, showered, got ready, and found out the Wi-Fi password so I could sit down and do this. I don't know who's next. Oh, Brandy's next.
Wait, Brandy? Yeah, you're right.
Hi. Yeah, so mine's actually quite different than the first ones you've heard. Let's see. I am, though, a full-time working mom. I teach, but even though I have summers off, and of course my summer's gone a little bit longer than the average lately, thank you, COVID. But our kids keep us busy year-round. They are ball travelers. But my journey starts with my weight loss. That is my journey. That is my story. I started in 2018, January, 300 pounds. And I started with Beachbody, though, as a discount coach. And that's all it was. I wasn't in for coaching. I was in it for me, to lose the weight. All I cared about was me. And I was doing great. I lost 30 pounds. And then everybody knows about the 2B mindset. At that point, the weight was melting off. And in September of 2018, here's what started happening. What are you doing? You look great. Oh my goodness. At that point, though, because of how great I felt between the program and Shakeology, because I had started that back in January and I absolutely loved it. My husband was doing Shakeology, and we've never had a shake of all the different things we've tried in the past that we loved for so long. I had something golden. That's the only word that ever came to mind. Golden, to share with people, because it works. Simple, straightforward, easy. And here was the one thing that when I went to my doctor and he was like, what are you doing? And when I told him, the one thing he asked me, is it sustainable? Yes. Well, in September, I had the community from the groups that I was in, because when I would show them, I love posting, look at what I just did. And they're like, you look so good. You look so good. I had this boost, and I loved just sharing that and getting that energy, and all the self-confidence just started coming out. And that's when my coach and her coaches around her were like, you need to share this. And I told my husband, I want to do this. And he said, go for it. So I went for it. Ever since I did that, my world has been rocked. I'm going to get emotional, Christy. I have amazing self-confidence. I have stepped out of comfort zone and just breaking barriers that I've never had before. I've lost 130 pounds. And I've gone from a size 20, basically a size 26 to a size 10. But I have all these friends that range from Florida, Utah, I have Colorado, and this is how we do it. And it's phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Some of them I've wrapped my arms around, and some I've still yet to meet. It's absolutely great, but what brings me the most joy is that people ask me, what are you doing? And I have these conversations, and to know that I'm helping them, and you can tell that they love that connection, to know that they're getting help with their health. It absolutely brings me joy. That's what I'm here for. That's what we're here for. And that is my story. That is my journey, and I'm not done. Who am I passing this to? Oh, it's Kayla. Okay.
I'm just going to say it's not fair to go after Brandy, because she always tears me up when she tells her story, because it's awesome, girl. I'm so proud of you. Okay, so a little background on me. My name's Kayla Parker. I have a degree in industrial engineering. Yes, like nerd. I went to school for 4.5 years. I've been in management since I got out of college. I have a very successful business career. Like this opportunity is for everybody. Like Brandy said, she's a teacher. Stay-at-home moms, people who wanted to get off the hamster wheel. It's for everybody. But I hate saying I'm an engineer, because I get all kinds of grief about it, about my family. But what I want to say is, when I joined as a coach, my coach said there are 4 things we do as a coach. 1, be a product of the product. Brandy is a freaking product of the product. Like, I can show you my transformation where I lost 30 pounds from the baby weight, where I did a freaking bikini competition with these programs. They work. Personal development, and I'm going to come back to that one because I'm going to spend a lot more time on it. Inviting, which is sharing your story and inviting others to do this with you. Like you heard Melanie talking about doing it with you, and Christy and Ariane, like we want to do it with people. I don't want to sell you crap and never see you again. I want to do it with you. Recognition, like I do like the shiny stuff. I like to have my name up. I like everyone to say, hey, you really worked your butt off. But personal development. I went to school for 4.5 years. I was in management. I'm still I work for oil and gas now, but I am constantly told to do training, get better at your job, get better at leadership. But I was never once told to work on me, like ever. And I'm getting my goosebumps right now. So um, I was always told to make myself better for somebody else, to be a better worker, to be a better boss, to be the perfect mom, daughter, wife. I never got told to work on me for me. And that is one of the requirements of being a coach is you spend time working on yourself. And so we are reading books, we are doing seminars, whether it's online, like the Rise conference from Rachel Hollis, or we go somewhere. We are spending time working on ourselves, developing those mindset. Because I have a tendency when I miss, when I go and do something I shouldn't do, or I'm not keeping up. I had a really bad, and I still do sometimes, I beat up on myself. You could do better. But this community, this opportunity taught me to love myself, taught me to give myself grace, taught me to take care of myself so I can be a better mom. I got 2 little kids, and I'm really surprised that they're not in here, because every time we have a coach call, they come in here normally without clothes on. But they teach me to be a better mom by taking care of myself and spending 5 minutes. Like, you hear my life. I have 2 kids. I work a full-time job. I have a husband who also works a full-time job. It is a busy life, but I have Audible on. Like, I don't know if my kids realize that there is something besides words that come out of the radio. Like, very rarely do we listen to music, because there's always something going on just to keep feeding my soul. One of my very first trainings I went to was a lady named Danny Johnson. And she said the voices in her head were so bad on telling her that she sucked and that she could do better and that she was horrible, that she constantly had to have something playing to tell her that she was awesome. She was a good mom. She could do hard things. Like, I took that and I really ran with it. So when I'm having a bad day, I go turn on some personal development. When I want to scream at my kids for whining over a cheese stick instead of getting a circle cheese, I've learned, take a step back, breathe, and go turn on personal development. Like, I can still be a mom and have somebody talking in my ear. I can be a really good employee and be typing along or doing my job and have somebody talking in my ear on telling me that I can do hard things, that you can love yourself. So I'm going to try really hard not to cry, but I just really want to talk about the importance of personal development and that you can take care of you first, because that's not selfish, because taking care of you makes you a better person for everybody else around you. All right. And I am going to hand it off to Miss Mary.
Hey everybody, I am Mary Bruce. So my background, Kayla's actually my coach, and we met a long time ago, but I had 7 years of injuries, and every time I started getting better, I had something new happen. And I knew how to lose weight. I had gained and lost the same, actually about 50 pounds, probably 6 or 7 times, because I would get better, lose weight, get injured. And it was really not good for me personally. And with my job, I traveled all the time. It was really hard to stick to something long term because my work took me places. And if my work wasn't taking me places, my weekends, I was driving to different family members' houses. So I was on the road all the time. I couldn't join a gym because honestly, I wasn't in one place long enough to make it work for me. And so everything I had ever done to gain or lose weight was done on the road. And that's pretty crazy to think. I was averaging between 5,000 and 6,000 miles of driving a month for almost 5 years. So, and I don't know how many miles I drive a month right now, but yeah, whatever. It's pretty close to the same. And Kayla reached out to me, and I had already, beginning of 2018, and I had already committed to doing Whole30. I was doing Whole30. I was like, I'm going to do this for 3 months. And I did it for January. I did it for February. And basically at the end of February, Kayla had reached out to me and said, hey, can you do this? And I was like, sure. I'll give it a try. I've done Whole30 for 2 months. I've lost 12 pounds. I'm feeling good. And Whole30 is not really that sustainable on the road for anybody who has ever done Whole30 and traveled. And so I was like, the only thing I can do is try this shake, because I wasn't supposed to be working out. I was actually on a 5-pound weight restriction for lifting anything. And so I started taking the shake, and I went from taking ibuprofen 3 to 5 days a week. I was taking 800 to 2,400 milligrams of ibuprofen a day, to 2 weeks into drinking the shake. I've taken ibuprofen 6 times in now over 2 years. So the shake for me was literally life-changing. I went from being in pain all the time to not being in pain all the time, or having very reduced pain, and being able to manage that just through other things. And I was able to lose weight through just changing my nutrition a little bit. I lost weight faster through the nutrition tools on Beachbody than I did at home. And that was with traveling a minimum of 1 week a month and being out of my house every single weekend. So it was completely doable on an absolutely insane schedule. And I was like, okay, let's do this. And when I was released from this 5-pound weight restriction that I'd been on for over a year, I was like, I don't know how to handle this. And so I just jumped into a program and said, however I have to modify this, I will modify it. I couldn't do 7 bicep curls with a 3-pound weight. I finished number 6 and I could not do the 7th. And I said, okay, I will do this with no weights. And the amazing thing is, I never missed a workout for the entire program. It didn't matter if I was traveling or not, because you can download the workouts onto your phone or your tablet. I didn't have internet service for most of the times I was traveling. I had every single workout I needed for the entire week on my tablet. I never missed a workout, not once. And that was with being on the road all the time. And I did that program the first time and the second time, and I've never stopped. I still work out at least 4 days a week. That's my target, 4 days a week of workouts, because life is crazy. I'm on the road right now, even with all the craziness. I'm on the road usually 3 days a week. So I never get to slow down, but I don't miss my workouts. I'm able to eat in a way that feeds my body and my soul. I don't have the pain that I had, even though I'm doing crazy life. And now my workouts, I bicep curl with 20-pound weights, and I can do 16 reps with 20-pound weights. So I will just say this works. It's been almost 2 years. And if I can do it and go from not being able to do 3-pound weights to doing 20-pound weights on the road all this time, change the way that I eat and how I treat myself, anybody can do it. Because travel can't be an excuse, because we all have lives. We all have things come up. But this is a way to incorporate your workouts into life and not use life as your excuse to get out of them. So I don't know who's next.
I'm next and last.
Yay!
I mean, I would say they save the best for last, but let's be honest. All of y'all freaking are amazing. I love you. My name is Nicole. I am almost on my 7-year coaching anniversary. And I feel like you've heard lots of stories tonight, and I just want to just reiterate the same with me. I have 2 degrees in music. I am a mom of 3. I have and had 0 interest in fitness and nutrition. You've heard from people who are managers and engineers and teachers. And I think the most important thing I want you to take away from this call is that none of us knew this was our calling until we took the first step. We trusted the person that invited us, and we said, I don't know what's next, but I believe in you because you believe in me, and I trust you to show me how to get there. So for me, that meant a year after having my first baby, I was running half marathons trying to lose the weight, and it was not coming off. And my coach said, do you trust me? And at that point, I would have paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to get the baby weight off. I was desperate to feel comfortable in my skin, to regain my body back after, if any of you have had children, you know that first year is just, it's shocking what your body goes through. And after 4 months of a simple shake and a workout, this is 7 years ago, y'all. This is before we had a whole bunch of nutrition plans for you. This is before we had huge challenge groups. This is before we had an app. This is when we had to buy old school DVDs, and it was a pain in the butt. This is ridiculous. Walk up and change my DVD on my TV in order to do my workout. And I lost 85 pounds. And same as Brandy, I had 0 interest in coaching, except that people were reaching out and needing help. And as a mom and as a teacher, I was like, I will do whatever it takes to help you feel the way I feel. So fast forward through a whole bunch of stuff. My husband has lost his job. We've moved states. Beachbody has carried our family financially through the hardest times of my life to date. It has given us amazing highs of bonuses from the team, from traveling to Dallas to celebrate, to spoiling girls at my little cabin up here on the lake up here, to going to Florida and Mexico with a bigger company. I joined because people were asking for help. But once I realized there was an income part of this, I thought, okay, if I can do this, other people can do this too. If I can feel like this, other people can feel like this too. And I have always led with that. And my team knows it, that the income is really, it drives me. It inspires me. It gives Christy freedom to drive across this, whatever, wherever you're going, California. It gives, people freedom to take family trips to Disneyland and not have to worry about, Eva flew 6 kids and her and her husband out on her Beachbody income. So what drives me 7 years later is that every Thursday I wake up to a paycheck because I have helped more people do what I did. And that is our job as coaches. It's not to sell a shake, sling a shake on an internet. It is not to sell people on some crazy hard Mary Bruce workout when they have an injury. It is not to make everybody into a bikini competitor. It's because every woman on this call will listen to what your needs are, and they will address them because they've been trained to do so. And when you come coach with us, we will all help you do the same until you're comfortable enough to be able to coach other people. So little income disclaimer, if you work, you make an income. If you don't work, you don't make an income to make the Beachbody lawyers happy. I have been fortunate enough to get to choose to stay home. I've also, the team knows this, in the last 7 years have taken part-time jobs because this mama needs out of the house. But the income that I make out of the house is like fun money. My Beachbody income is what supports our family. And I don't know that the Nicole 7 years ago would have even realized how amazing this opportunity was, except that I trusted my coach. You make 25% off of anything that you sell. You make team bonuses off of being part of this amazing team. Yes, there is a difference between teams. Make sure you do your research. If you have connected with the coach that asked you to this call, that is your calling. I'm telling you, they see something in you that their coach saw in them. Trust their gut instinct. If you have that little tiny voice in your head that says, I might be able to do this. Think of me, the fat, overweight, miserable mom of one with 2 degrees, working 80 hours a week before we had all these amazing tools, and I was able to do it. I didn't believe my coach. I didn't believe my body. I didn't believe any of that was going to work, and it did. And here we are 7 years later, which is crazy. So I hope that this was helpful for you. I think Ariane's going to wrap us up, but if you have questions, if you need to take notes on these stories, all of these girls will be, you can DM us or private message us or whatever. We will be here to answer questions. We just wanted you to know who we are as women, who we are as moms and as daughters and as spouses and as whoever we are. We're all different, and we were called by our coach, just like you are called by us, because we see something in you. So there you go. Ariane.
Hey. All right. Well, thank you for joining us and learning a little bit more about the opportunity that you have through coaching. So because I want to respect your time, if you have questions or you're wanting to know how to get started, you're like, yes, I want to do this. How do I get started? Then I want you to reach out to the coach that invited you to watch this video, and they will walk you through the different options that we have to get started and to join the community, as well as they can send you a video if you want more info on anything. If you have any questions or want more info, basically reach out to us. So thank you again for your time and for chiming in and listening to us, and we hope that we will see you around.